Yo, what's going on, guys? Hi, it's me again. I'm back again. I know it's been like 100 years since I've made a video, but I've recently watched Cyberpunk Edgerunners, and I know I'm like 3 weeks late to watching the actual show and making a review, but I watched it recently and try to give my thoughts on it, because it was a really good show. Just to get that out of the way, I guess now. I think it was a phenomenal show. Also, please don't talk about my hair. The barber fucked me up, bro. He got me fucked up. That's what this is about. Um, the show itself, I think, is phenomenal. I think that show slaps. It's not perfect. There are a few things that I think the show kind of falls short on, but it is overall a really, really good show. So I'm gonna start with I think the animation. I'm gonna start with the animation. The animation and the style that the show has, I think, is phenomenal. It looks beautiful and stunning. The actual action scenes where characters are fighting, there's a lot of gore, by the way, a lot of gore in the show, a lot of like, blood and stuff. It's kind of crazy, but it goes really hard and it looks fantastic in my opinion. I think the fight scenes are awesome. Just everything kind of flows really well and it looks beautiful and stunning. It is a phenomenal looking show. And I think they really nailed it there. It's just fantastic, to be honest. It's just fantastic. Um, then let me talk about the music real quick, because I'm actually really enthusiastic about this one, especially. Like this, the music, also really enthusiastic about. I think the show just hits with the music. It fits in so well to the cyberpunk kind of world and the vibe that the actual show has going on. And at the same time, it has like a bit of variety to it. We have like more like action-packed songs that really like hit in that moment. And you also have songs that are a bit more chill and calm, and it's used really well. The music is phenomenal. I love the music. Whenever like a song started playing, I'm like, oh my god, this is fire, and it really is just fire. It is so good. I enjoyed it so much. It was like a very enjoyable experience. And even the implementation of music sometimes, I think it's actually really creative. Like the radio in a car, like the actual car radio itself would be like playing music in the background of like a scene. I thought that was really cool. I don't think I had ever seen something like that in a show, but it kind of stood out to me because I was like, damn, the music in this like scene here, I had never seen it used in that way, I don't know. I just hadn't seen it, so I don't know if that's like a big deal or not, but I kind of liked it. It made me a little excited about it. I thought it was quirky. Um, Let me talk about the characters. I think the characters in this show also fucking slap. I think they are so good. They're very compelling. I got very engaged and involved with them. You see our main protagonist David kind of go through this arc and stuff and do all these things, and I just enjoyed it a lot. And a lot of the cast around him I thought were very fun. They had good designs. They they just slapped. They were just good. I think they were like pretty well done. They fulfilled like their purpose in the actual story itself as well. And I was really like engaged with them as well. Let's talk about the thing I think is a bit flawed about the show. Towards the beginning of the show, um, there is a lot. There is a lot. This is like a not like the biggest flaw ever, but still something I feel like I want to point out is that they throw a lot of information at you. And a lot of the show, I feel like, relies on you already having played Cyberpunk or you already know about the universe of Cyberpunk. Because they throw like a lot of terms out there and a lot of like words that they use and the terminology. And I just feel like there's like a lot. And for someone who hasn't played Cyberpunk, I could see that being a bit of like a bit confusing at first. They kind of explain it a bit later on, but I don't know. I feel like not having like that proper introduction and getting things makes it very confusing at the start. Like for example, I'm just gonna like BDs for example, brain dances. In Cyberpunk, it's like when you go into like the VR world or whatever, and you like experience stuff. Oh, sorry about the camera glitch. I just saw it happen. Anyway, you go into like the VR world, and like you do stuff or whatever. I know I'm like It's not exactly like that, but essentially that type of stuff. And they use this like very specific terminology for it, and they talk kind of like fast through it. And I don't know, I feel like for someone who maybe isn't like super into the cyberpunk world or doesn't know much about it, like a newcomer basically, might have a harder time keeping up and understanding what's happening. So I don't know, I kind of wish the show explained it a bit, but I also see why they didn't, because I don't really know how they would fit it in, but it would have been nice to at least have some explanation. Because I was watching with a friend who didn't know about that stuff, and he was very lost, obviously, because how could he have known? So it's just like one of those things where I kind of wish the show did a bit more world building, but in terms of terminology, just specific, I think world building wise, it actually does have some really good shots. I like to correct my statement there. World building wise, it's actually great. You see a lot of shots of the city. They take you through it. You see a lot of it. I meant more about the terminology of the world and all that stuff. But the actual world itself, you see so much of it. You get to see parts of the city, the routines that people have, like other aspects you don't really see in the actual video game itself. And I thought that was really cool. It's like really unique. You don't get to see it from this angle. And that was really awesome. I thought that was super cool. The villain, oh my god, the villains. I thought the villains were really fun. I thought they were really good villains. I hated them. I despised them. I did not like the villains. I wanted them to. I hated them, but they were really good. I felt very compelled by them. There's it's very like back to the fight scenes. I guess I don't know. Watching the villains and the heroes fight, it felt very realistic. It felt kind of like a game, that they were playing and shit. I don't know. I liked it. I liked it. It was fun. It was fun interactions. It was a compelling story. I think the actual writing is pretty solid as well. I watched it dubbed and subbed, not like for the entire way. I just started off dubbed, and the voice acting seemed alright. I liked it. So if that's the thing that you want to know about, I think the dubbed voice acting was fire. And let me just start like wrapping this up, because either way I am 3 weeks late to this review, so I might as well just like wrap it up already. But overall, just a really good show. I'm really happy I got to watch it, especially because I just finished Game of Thrones season 8. That was a shitter. That was a fucking shitter of an ending, and not even because it's just necessarily bad, which it is, but it was just really boring. That's not the point. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I really hated Game of Thrones. Anyway, for Cyberpunk Edgerunners, I loved Game of Thrones up to season 8. Season 8, no. For Cyberpunk Edgerunners, though, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys my review. I think it's a 9 out of 10, and a really, really high 9 out of 10. The reason I'm not gonna give it that 10 out of 10, best show ever, ranking, it's just because that, like I said earlier, like for a newcomer, I feel like it might be too much, but I'm not gonna give it like that much, like, point deduction because of that. But I feel like there were points where the story couldn't quite be as flushed out. Like it needed a bit more time to do stuff, to establish more things. But even then, despite that, I still think it did a great job. Like it wasn't like that detrimental either. But I wish I had a bit more time to do a few more things. And I really hope to see more about the cyberpunk world after this. The games are still a shitter. The games are still a shitter. They don't run on my PC. Well, they should. I have a 3080, but not the point. Really excited to see more about the cyberpunk world, though. I really am. It seems super intriguing, and I'm happy that this show came out and is this good. Like, really. And yeah, it's just a really good show. I highly recommend. 9 out of 10. Man, I talked a lot there. Alright, that'll be all. I'll see you on the next review or video or whatever I do. I'll try to not make another month hiatus. But I also don't know what's gonna happen. I have college and shit. But yeah, small little update there at the end. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. I might be reviewing Andor when that comes out, or when it finishes, and She-Hulk as well. It's 2 shows that I'm watching right now as well. Not Game of Thrones. I think I'm a bit too late to that one, but yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Have a good one, guys. Peace.